Big round of applause.
Hi everyone. The question of today is, of course, how to scale your e-commerce business. And I've analyzed in my career 10,000 A/B tests on e-commerce sites. And what I discovered is that if you know how the brain works, you're able to scale your e-commerce business. And therefore, I would like to share 15 conversion hacks based on consumer psychology. You can implement it tomorrow. Hi again, I'm Jurjen. I'm from the Netherlands. Ronald van Persie, Jaap Stam, Edwin van der Sar. Yes, okay, now I get your attention. All right, I'm the founder at Evidoo, and Evidoo is the world's largest A/B test database for e-commerce. I'm also co-owner at Atlantic Netherlands, which is a large e-commerce agency. And actually, we built the first webshop in the Netherlands 22 years ago. A retailer who was selling books. And have been in the e-commerce and A/B testing industry for 22 years, and I'm happy to share my knowledge with you today. All right, before we jump into the conversion hacks, I would like to share how we make decisions as a human being in the retail, in the offline world, but also online. So actually we have two systems to make decisions. We have system one, it's fast, automatic, no control, unconscious. And scientist Kahneman also detected system two, mental effort, slow, all the conscious decisions we make every day. Maybe a bit fake, but I'll give you some examples. So system one is driving in a car. We don't have to think about it. Or read the text on a billboard. System two is buying a house, or bracing yourself, or a gun of the race, right? So that's system two. To give you more examples how these systems work in your brain. Okay, one is two, amazing audience in this. Never had it before. All right, this is system one. It happens unconsciously, right? Okay, the next one. Yes, okay. This is system two. We have to think about that. And that's the difference between those systems and how we make decisions. And the funny thing is, all scientists agree that 90% of the decisions are made unconsciously in a real world, but also as a human being behind a desktop or a mobile phone. And I would like to share 15 hacks to influence the unconscious brain of your visitors to get more money. Ready for it? Okay, cool. Before we jump into the 15, on a most meta level, we have 4 directions to change human behavior in real world and also online. Once we motivate users, we are able to increase conversions. When we reduce uncertainty, we're able to increase conversions. When we make life easier, we're able to influence behavior. And last but not least, once we have attraction, we're able to influence behavior. All right, there we go. Based on those 4 directions, we start with the first one, to motivate users. And the first one I would like to share is the goal gradient effect. We feel a stronger motivation to achieve a goal when we have made progress. This is a real cool offline experiment where a coffee bar in California wants to increase customer loyalty, and they hired scientists. And what they did is they gave 50% of their customers this stamp card. And you have to buy 10 coffee, and you get the next one for free. The other 50% of the customers also have to buy 10 cups of coffee and get one free. But 2 were already stamped. They did the experiment and they analyzed the data, and what they found, variant B significantly increased loyalty because users were already on their way. They have already made progress. So this is one of the basics of customer loyalty programs. Give users something already, because then they have the feeling I have made some progress. Okay. Cool experiment, but how to apply this online? This is a Dutch example, doesn't matter, but we introduce not 4 steps, but 5 steps. And we made the shopping cart, the first step of the total progress. So we conducted the experiment based on this theory, and we found 1.7% uplift in transactions. And the funny thing is, when you run a lot of experiments on different e-commerce sites across Europe, United States, then we're able to detect patterns. We run the same experiment. You see here, the variant, the shopping cart is part of the progress bar. Not step 1 or 4, but step 2 or 5. And again, we saw a huge uplift in transactions. What we do in Evidoo is we report this metadata in Evidoo, and we have tested this hypothesis 7 times, and three resulted in a winner, the rest was flat. But the common thread here is that the likelihood that it will increase conversions and change behavior is very high. The second principle based on consumer psychology is what I call autonomy. We want to be in control of our own decisions. And Coolblue is one of the largest electronic retailers in the Netherlands. And what they did, they have the control with the proceed to checkout button, the call to action. And they changed it from this one to I'm ready to order. And they implemented it because call to actions written in the first person give users more autonomy. Once they press that one, they are committed to complete the purchase more than in the original, in the control. Also, Booking.com apply the same psychological theory here. Book now? No, I will reserve. They implement it, and they are the masters of online persuasion. We tested it 10 times at different e-commerce sites. 4 winners, also 1 loser, the rest was flat, but the common thread is that the likelihood that it will increase conversions is very high. All right, the third one, the zero cost effect. The word free has a magical effect on our brain. We tested this one at a shoe retailer in the Netherlands. There were no shipping costs involved here, but there was nothing. And we added the word free, especially for Dutch users. Free is magic. But we found 2% increase in transactions. We did a lot of experiments regarding this principle. So you see in the control, the payment methods, and in the variant, we added the word free after each payment method. In the control, also the payment methods were free, of course. But just to make the contrast and to apply the zero cost effect. 6% uplift in transactions, here the same hypothesis, same pattern, 4% uplift in transactions. We tested it 22 times. And brings a lot of money. If you have refunds for free, maybe it's a good idea to put it in your shopping cart overview. All right, the fourth one I wanted to share is the self-efficiency, and we are more motivated when we have the confidence to complete the task. Well, this is Dutch, but it doesn't matter, but it said, good job. You did a good job. Good job, good job, good job. Give users the feeling that they are in control and compliment, give them compliments. Almost done, Jurjen. We just need a few more details to confirm your booking. That's what's happening here. And also in your checkout, give users the feeling that they're doing a good job. You see the control with just the normal labels, and we added the green check marks after each field completion. And we saw a huge uplift. And the common trend in our database that it increased conversion. All right, let's proceed to the next one. We are still motivating users based on consumer psychology. And what we see here is the zygotic effect is that we tend to complete unfinished tasks. And this is very funny because with the rise of mobile phones, we are exposed to unfinished tasks, right? You see the screenshot of my mobile phone? Notification, notification, notification. The brain feels like this is an unfinished task. This is what's happening in e-commerce. Is when you have a notification in your shopping cart, users are clicking on that. They do it unconsciously because they are get used to it because of the mobile phone. So you see here the data, heat map data, they are clicking on the top right, but they are already in the shopping cart and see it over and over again. So click me, notification. Click me, notification. There are thousands of Magento webshops online, and they all have the same pattern. And they're leaving money on the table. Click me. It was interesting. We did an experiment with one of our clients. They sell bikes online, and you see the control, and it has also the red notification. And we come up with the variant, and we removed the notification. We were in an experiment. Huge uplift. If you know how the brain works, you are able to increase conversion and to improve your ROAS, POAS, or whatsoever. All right. Still motivating people. And try to influence people in the unconscious mind. And we have the principle, it's from the price psychology, is we are more motivated when prices are less painful. So again, Coolblue, one of the largest Dutch retailers, they changed their pricing. So they removed the decimals to that the price is less painful. Or maybe it's a good idea to reduce your font size, to reduce the pain of paying. All right. Let's proceed to the other direction. So the second direction for changing behavior is reduce uncertainty. And we have the social proof theory. I think you are familiar with it from Cialdini. In uncertain situations, we tend to follow the behavior of others. There's a great experiment in a hotel, and they want to increase environmental and to reduce for the sustainability reasons. And they hire scientists, and 50% of the users get this card by the towels. So use towels more than once. If you still want to have new towels, please leave them on the door, the bathroom floor, and we will make sure you get new ones. And the other 50% of the rooms, they have this one. So the majority of our guests use towels more than once. They ran an experiment, did the analysis, and they found 26% reuse of towels because of these wordings. So we tend to follow the behavior of others. That's the social proof principle. Now, how can you apply this to e-commerce? You see here some experiments with control and the variant with all the webshop reviews on top of the page, significant uplift in transactions. Also in email marketing, it can help you to boost clicks or revenue. And maybe it's also good to have a closer look at how to place your reviews. Is it a good idea to have it on your listing pages? Yes or no? Or maybe it's a good idea to summarize all your social reviews to increase conversions. All right, moving to the next one. We only feel relaxed when we are certain about what we know or what to expect. And this is why, for example, Booking use micro-copywriting as a technique to reduce uncertainty. So no hidden costs, no registration needed, etc. To remove barriers, to remove uncertainty from the call to action. So we have some experiments with delivery date. So you see the control, the variant, and the variant we added just the delivery, expected delivery day in the checkout. We tested it 5 times, and 3 out of 5 resulted in a winner, because users want to have certainty, in this case, for the delivery day, delivery time. All right, let's proceed to the third direction for changing behavior. So, if you make it easier, we are able to increase conversions. And this principle is called fluency, and it says we prefer things that are mentally easy to process. So that means, I think you're familiar with this one, the Corona test. It is designed like this, right? But it's not very easy, to get the results in. So this is how it is, and this is how it should be. Much more easy, right? I called to China, but they didn't want to change the user interface. Okay, how does it translate to e-commerce? I run thousands of A/B tests, and the red line, the common thread, is that users don't understand items. They need some text below it to know what it means. It's over and over again. So what we see in our data is that users don't understand icons. So the trash can icon, maybe it's familiar to you, but a lot of users don't know what it means. And it kills your conversion. All right. Next one, availability. We act upon the immediate examples that come to mind. A lot of e-commerce owners have the possibility to sign up for a newsletter and get 50% discount on your first order. So here's the control is confirmed. Go to your email and get the discount code. And what we tested here is the variant, and you get the discount coupon immediately on your screen. So make it more easy. So we saw a huge uplift in transactions here. Make it more easy and get more revenue. All right. The last direction to change behavior is to attract attention. And this one is gaze cueing, and that says that you are automatically drawn to the gaze direction of others. And this happens on websites all the time. So what you see here, you see eye tracking study. On the left hand, you see a little girl looking back to the eye tracker, and then you see that she's looking into your eyes. And once she gazes to the other direction, then she has the focus on the call to action. It happens unconsciously. So that means, for example, you want to have attention here, but unconsciously, what happens in the brain of your visitors is that the attention hasn't here. For example, on product listing pages, I have a lot of customers who have beautiful banners to get the emotion right, or to sell the emotion, but it's not always a good decision. You can imagine what the impact was of this A/B test. Or newsletter signups. I see a lot of e-commerce merchants using photos of real people, but the variant B is performing much better. You see it over and over again. All right. Let's proceed to the von Riestorff effect, and that has to do with we pay attention to elements that differs from the rest. take a look at the screen. I will start an experiment. Look up to the screen. 3, 2, 1. You all see the contrast, right? The difference. That happens unconsciously. You cannot do anything about it. It happens. It happens. It happens. Strange bird. Next time I will add the purple cow in my presentation. How to apply this to e-commerce? I said to my client, you have a lot of stock, and these shoes have a lot of margin, but just kidding. But you can feel it. So you can use it in advertising. We're advertising about attracting attention, right? So you see here the control for one of our customers, and they all the same images. So we pushed another image to Google Shopping in order to attract attention. We saw user uplift in clicks, ROAS, etc. We are going to attract attention again, and we have the so-called contrast effect. So we pay attention to contrasting options. This is a classic one. I think you're all familiar with it. So have your most important call to action as a contrasting color. We've tested, I think, what's our database saying here? We tested this pattern 8 times. Most of the time it was a winner. We found one loser. But the common thread is that contrast on your most important action on your page increase conversion. But we also see a lot of opportunities, for example, on filtering and sorting on listing pages. So what do you think? Who thinks the control would lead to more filtering and sorting? Who thinks the variant? Most of you, thanks. And that's happening in e-commerce. E-commerce sites losing a lot of money by not giving the filters contrasting colors in order to increase the usage, and as a result, more add to carts, more purchases. All right, let's proceed in getting attraction. We remember things we have visually seen much better. That's the psychological principle, what is on this slide. And yeah, there are a lot of studies that in this case, the variant B, more accidents, that variant B, a lot less accidents happen when showing this sign, because it has a picture or a visualization. A classic one in e-commerce, in fashion. Who thinks A, give more conversions? Who thinks variant B will lead to more conversions? A, B. Yes. Interesting finding, based on this consumer psychology principle, we've tested this 8 times as a pattern, and 4 out of 8 that resulted in a significant winner in purchases. And in all experiments conducted, we saw an increase in usage of the images. And that's what you want to have, right, as a marketer. We are all marketeers. All right, last but not least, I will finish with the last one, the attentional bias. And that means that we pay more attention to something that contains emotion. I'm going to start an experiment. Would you like to participate? Yeah. Yes, okay, cool. I would like you to, when I click on the next slide, I would like you to speak out loud what your first impression is. Don't feel ashamed. It will not be recorded. Oh. It will be recorded, sorry. That's mine. But you have to speak out loud what your first impression is. Yes? Don't feel ashamed. There we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
Everyone seeing his six pack? Yeah? I think that's the most people see. Anyone for the monkey? On the top right?
Okay.
Anyone? This happens unconsciously, right? We focus on the most emotional part of the picture. So in this case, the six pack. What means that for e-commerce? The most dominant, the most emotional part of your product detail page is the image. So then you have the attention, right? So therefore, the labels are working very good because you have the attention. In this case, our client offers free shipping. So we added a label on the product detail page. So here is where two directions come together, attract attention and motivate users to increase conversion. And also in advertising, when you have the attention, then in variant B, you're able to show the most important product features instantly. All right, everybody. That were my 15 techniques to influence behavior. I hope you enjoyed it. And the question of today is how to scale your e-commerce business, knowing how the break works. Thank you so much.
Take a picture of the slide if you want to go for the QR code. And then ready for some questions. Paul, you're welcome.
You've dealt with lots of different sizes of client, and before they get into the habit of experimenting, sometimes it's whatever the CEO thinks or whatever the marketing director thinks. But do you find when you show them numbers that they start buying into those numbers, or if you still get resistance in, say, boardroom situations where you're showing this?
Yeah. Well, the common thread is that data helps to influence managers, directors. But at the end of the day, it's in the person himself. As a director, am I more opinion driven or am I more data driven? So that's the basic. But most of the time it helps. And my tip to have director involvement is that they have ideas on the website and just pick the 5 ideas and test them and show the results. That also makes sense. To create a culture of experimentation. Other questions? Yeah.
Question 1. Is there notice difference between different cultures or male and female? Yeah, exactly. Things which work for females, things which work for men, things which work in the Netherlands, which don't work in the UK.
Yeah, we see that. Yeah. In the end of the day, we are all human beings, so the brain works in system 1, system 2, but it's all about context, right? So it's about cultural context, language, male, female. And the funny thing is you can easily select and filter in our database. So give me in UK the winners on per detail page for female.
That work different between UK
Yeah, yes.
And that's captured in your
Sorry?
data. And that's captured in your database.
Yeah.
All right. Second question.
Yeah, sure.
being unemployed and not having a Gmail account, I'll go down all
That's a conversion killer, right? Yeah. You give me your email and I will hand it over to you. Yeah, okay. Any other questions?
What is your favorite like conversion or say stock tools that you would recommend? So for example, tomorrow if someone want to run experiments and they obviously can rely on your data, which stack of tools they need to have to run this on their own website? What's your favorite?
Yeah, the question is, what's my favorite tool or Evidoo tool? To be honest, I don't have one. I think it's when you have a good experimentation program, it's all about knowledge, process, and mindset, especially from directors. And there are no bad or worse tools in the market. Yeah.
Do you find that web rates are influenced by the source of the traffic, like organic or PC or social?
Yeah, I think there's a difference because people from different traffic sources are in a different phase of their journey. For example, what we see in our data is when people landing on their product overview pages, most e-commerce merchants are showing their reviews, but that's much too early in the process. So when we remove the reviews of our listing pages, we increase conversions because it was a waste for them. So yeah.
You've not mentioned, but from your kind of experience or data, what normally goes best in terms of kind of converting, say, when it comes to plain background images and lifestyle images as being the main image?
It's in our database, but I have only 30 minutes.
Outside.
I'm probably going to add, so in Evidoo it's a database of the different A/B tests, but our tool that we use is convert.com. If you're going to go for convert.com as an A/B testing tool, you will get access to Evidoo for free. Just so you know, convert.com. Thank you very much.